Aristotle's work, The Nicomachean Ethics, is perhaps the greatest ever treatise written on moral philosophy. And at the center of it is his so-called doctrine of the mean, one of his most famous ideas, sometimes known as the golden mean, although Aristotle doesn't use that expression himself. The idea is simply that every virtue is a mean between two extremes. For example, the virtue of courage would be the mean between cowardice and recklessness. The courageous man is obviously not the one who flees every danger he meets, but nor is it the man who rushes to face every danger. Rather, courage means being able to look at each situation and know how to respond appropriately, whether to fight bravely or withdraw and fight another day. As I say, this is one of Aristotle's most famous ideas, and it seems quite plausible. But does it really work for every virtue? Consider, for example, certain virtues from the Christian tradition, say piety or faith. According to Christianity, it seems that you can't be too pious or too faithful. And the same might apply to virtues that Aristotle would have recognized. But let's leave that aside and worry about something more basic, which is that the doctrine of the mean seems quite useless. What good is it to me if I'm facing a difficult ethical dilemma to be told that I should be trying to pursue the mean between two extremes? In fact, consider even a very everyday example. Suppose I'm trying to decide how much to eat at dinner. If Aristotle sits down next to me and says, what you want to do is eat neither too much nor too little, that's of no good to me at all. I already knew that. What I don't know is how much to eat. So I think, bearing this in mind, we might reflect that Aristotle is maybe not out to give ethical advice after all. Rather, what he's trying to do is describe what the virtuous agent does when he is virtuous. There's at least two things going on here. One, Aristotle is thinking back to something he said earlier in the Ethics, which is that virtue is all about being rational. And what could be more rational than finding the perfect proportion or mean in a continuum between, for example, eating too much and eating too little? The other thing that's going on is that Aristotle wants to show that virtue is dispositional. What that means is that it's just a tendency to act the right way in a given situation. And in particular, the disposition we're interested in here is that the ethical agent, if he's virtuous, is the one who can look at each situation and perceive the mean and act appropriately. So I think that if Aristotle was not trying to tell us how to be virtuous, but rather just trying to describe what is going on when we are virtuous, then he got it just about right. To find out more about Aristotle, go to the History of Philosophy podcast website at www.historyofphilosophy.net.